Hey guys, it's been a long time. Can you hear me all right? So how you guys doing? It's been a long time, huh? By the way, Jesse, I don't know if you're still here or not, but wow, Mommy Reed, how are you? It's been like months, but I am still having problem with YouTube. That's why all the members they shut basically they shut all of that down. Somehow that the re- their reviewers watch my videos and they say that I am like the content they have problem with that, or that they're saying that I am exaggerating stuff in my video, which is I don't understand why. But that's why I have to delete all my videos. Um, and so right now I am still in probation, so it's not working right yet. And hey Jeff, how are you? But it's been a long time. So is everybody doing good? I know, I mean, reach, but what can I do? I mean, right now I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on and try to get it working again. But it's been almost like, well, like 6 weeks, for 6 weeks since I last went live. So happy to see everybody here. Hey, Pavel, it's good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm not sure, but the problem is like all I got is a message saying that well, the 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 videos violate their guideline because it's exaggerate stuff, which is I don't believe that I do, but what can I do? That's why I have to delete. I have to delete all of the videos, and then I have to go through the same process again, reapply for it, and that's why right now I cannot run ad, I cannot have the memberships, nothing. That's one of the reason why I started the Patreon channel as well. But anyway, but anyway, I mean let's talk about this here. Obviously, I think everybody has been kind of like disappointing in Doge because it's been like pretty much traded sideways for a long time. And one of the thing I'm not really sure why is all of a sudden like all of the volume are kind of like very low. Um, Yesterday after this spike of, I mean I was kind of like get a little bit excited because the volume picked up a little bit. But after that today, I mean practically no volume. All I can think of is it is still in consolidations, but I mean, look at the chart. The setup is definitely looking good. I mean, that's all I can say. Um, Maybe we just have to wait until those kind of like work through what it needs to do. Um, it's just like there's no volume, and the problem is when you don't have volume, you don't have that sort of like major spike up like what we've seen with like Shiba. But as long as those is trading above 25.5 cents, it is still looking okay. I mean, look, I started that what is like swing trading with 1,000. I mean, my 1,000 had been sitting on those coins for like the past 3 weeks, and I'm not really happy about it neither. But I hate to pull it because looking at this chart here, I still believe that it's gonna happen soon. Because when you look at this chart, I mean, everything is kind of like telling me that something is gonna happen. It's just like there's no volume. I mean, I don't know why, because I would have expect to see like volume picks up, but we don't have it, and without volume, you just those is not going anywhere. That's but the good thing is at the same time today those is down, but it still was able to retain half of the gain that it got yesterday. So those right now, I mean, if you look at this, those is still trading over like the 10 day, the 50 days, especially over this 25.5. So so it's still really good. I mean, and when I look at the 5 minute chart, earlier today it dropped down to about like 25.7. But after that, I mean, as you can see, it bounced right up. The problem is when it's bounced up like that, there's really no volume yet. Uh, because I mean, what you have here is like a little bull flag here. I mean, it's technically it broke out. It's just like there's no volume. I mean, so you don't have that sort of like push. Because if we have volume, this thing should be running at about 29 cents by now. But just hey Dale, how are you? Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys um, enjoy the content that the video that I uploaded. Mommy reads, would I sell those to buy Shiba? That is a really tough question right now. The reason being is this here. Shiba, like it or not, it's already run up a lot. Okay? If you buy Shiba right now, I mean, one of my rule is never chase after the bull. And when I look at Shiba right now, if you look at my analysis, I mean, I think that Shiba has the potential to reach about zero point 0.6. But after that, I do expect to see a hefty retracement. I mean, it's normal. That's how we've seen all of this happen. After a big spike up, you are going to have people taking profit, and that will drive the price down. And that is what's happening with Shiba right now. And let's be very honest. I mean, I want to be very frank about Shiba as well. The reason that Shiba was able to spike up a lot from about like what is it, like 0.0005 all the way up to what it is right now. It's great. But at the same time, right around at this point, the market cap for Shiba was only 5 billion. Low market cap. That's why it's a lot easier to run up. Right now, Shiba is at what? I mean, 15, 20 billion. It's going to be a lot tougher to run up. That is reality. And I think that is what happening with Doge. Doge, when it was at around, let's see here, when Doge was like right at this point here around like April, the market cap at that time was about like 5 billion. A spike up to about like 75 cents. That when Doge reached like almost, what's it, like 75 billion. After that, it retraced. Even right now, Doge is still at about 30 billion. And when you have a market that high, it's going to be a lot tougher to run up. But I do think that those is, I mean, ready to run up. I guess right now because all of the attention is being put on Shiba. That's why we don't see the sort of volume um, with those. But it's just a matter of time before these quote unquote neglected crypto will run again. So, I mean, in terms of like, should I buy, I mean, should I sell like those to buy Shiba? For me, definitely no. Because Shiba is great, but it's already run up so much. It's once it hit the top, which is, I think Shiba is getting very close right now. I mean, right now Shiba is at about 4.1, and my target is zero point 0.6. Right now it's 0.41. So you got that much to run up. Can upshot? I don't think so, Jeff. I mean, first of all, I am not really sure why people even like listening to that guy. I mean, hey, he's really. I mean, he kind of like he scammed people out a lot of money, and people still like listen to him. I don't get it, but anyway, uh, but I don't think Upshot can save those. Those doesn't need him. He is probably one of the reason why people are afraid to invest in those. Okay, so that's all I can say. But well, mommy read normally when you look at like history here. All right, let's look at like Shiba. When Shiba ran up around the May time frame, it ran up from this like point zero. Oh man, so many zero. But look at this here. It spiked up, and after that, it started this retrace. So if you base on this like Fibonacci retracement, when you look at this retrace here, from the where it's starting this run up to the top after about like 4 weeks, it dropped to about 78.6%. That is what you're looking at. And then after that, it traded sideways for a long time before you see the next spike up. We may not see Shiba drop to about 78.6, but very easy for it to drop by at least 50% or even 61.8%. That is very normal. So when you look at Shiba right now, let's say after Shiba spike up to my target of zero point 0.6, which is right at around this point here. Let me just mark it. So zero point 0.6 is right around here. I mean, actually, it is like 0.006. So when you look at this, the minute it kind of like top out, which is I think it will, it's already ran up so much. The stochastic oscillator is showing that it's getting near this like all overboard here. And if you apply the same kind of like retracement at 38.2%, you're looking at it dropping down to about a zero point 0.4. At 50% retracement, you're looking at a 0.33. At 61.8%, which I think it could possibly happen, then you're looking at about 0.27. And then you're probably going to see it stay trade sideways for at least 2 or 3 months before you see another spike up. The same thing, like, remember, like, cellular network was really hot for a while. Look at cellular here. Cellular network spiked up from about like point, what is it, like 1.9 cents, all the way to like 20 cents. And after that, you see this retracement. Let me clear some of this stuff out so that we can see it. And seller is extremely strong, but you still see this sort of like retracement. So far, it dipped down to about 50% already. You see that? And this is cellular network. And the retracement here is during a time that Bitcoin continue to goes up. So it's like a bull market. But you still have this sort of retracement because after this major spike up, once it top out, that is what we see. I mean, you have like people who bought in at this point. I mean, just like myself, remember I bought a lot at around like 2, 3 cents. I mean, I saw a lot once it get up to this point. And now I'm just sitting here waiting for it to consolidate. And the minute I see the sign that it is about to bow, that's when I would that's when I would go in and buy it. And if you look at this, even with Cellular, it's been in consolidation since like the September 24th. So it's been consolidated. It's been like trading sideways for the whole month. And we still haven't seen a sign that it is ready to bounce. If you watch my video about Cellular, remember I said like Cellular would be trading sideways within this range of like 11.8 to 17 cents. And if you look at how the price has been behaving, I mean, exactly that's what it is. It's been trading sideways, dropped down to about 11.8, bounced up, briefly crossed over the 17 cents, but after that, get pushed down right away. And now it is stayed within this range again. And it may continue to be like this for another, I mean, couple of weeks until the key here is what? The key here is like the 10 days moving average. The minute you see like Cellular trade over the 10 days moving average for at least 2 or 3 days consistently in this upward trend, then it's going to break out. But not, I mean, when you don't see that happen, you're not going to see this sort of breakout. And the same thing is going to happen to Shiba as well. I mean, I can bet money on that. People can tell me about like Shiba is burning coins and all of that and great stuff. It doesn't matter how great of a project it is. Solana, remember Solana, great project. Now it's running up. I mean, it's trading at about 209. And when Solana ran up, spiked up to this like about 200, I said that it would retrace. And that's exactly what happened. If you look at Solana, and if we base on the same kind of like Fibonacci retracement, okay, the low here all the way to the high. You see, even with Solana, it retraced by more than 50% right here, see? So if Solana retraced by 50% from the all-time highs once it finds the top, then the expectation is what? Shiba definitely is going to happen. And I think, remember this here, the faster it's go up, the retracement will be a lot more severe than, let's say, when it run up like this. So I am going to bet on this, and I will bet anybody, any kind of money, the minute this thing reach about the target or whatever the top that is going to be. It could be 0.6, 0.65, or 0.7, but after that, it's going to top out. And assuming if it top out at 0.6, then you will look at a minimum. It would drop down is about 50%. At least 50%, because if Solana drop by over 50%, Shiba is going to at least drop by that much. Wait a minute. This is about zero point 0.5. So let's say if we move it to zero point 0.6 here. All right, there it is. So this is what I think. Within the next 4 weeks, maybe even less, I expect to see Shiba retrace. And then you can buy Shiba at zero point 0.3. That is a guarantee. I mean, it is exciting to see like Shiba running up. And sometime when it run up, we forget that it will retrace. I mean, we've seen this. We've seen this. And now we're going to see this again because nothing goes up forever. Zilliqa is moving. If you watch the video, by the way, I mean, uh, you guys know I have another like channel called OptionZilla, right? I just uploaded a video about Zilliqa just like a day or two ago. So you might want to watch that, John. Oh, Chris, talk about Cardano. Oh, I love it. I think in a week or two, cryptos that are being ignored right now, like Cardano, BitTorrent, is going to run up big. I am accumulate Cardano right now. Why? Because first of all, Cardano is a great project. It's ran up a lot. And then let's talk about this again. I mean, even with Cardano, look at this here. After it spiked up from like $1 to $3, look at it retrace. And if we look at the retracement here, Cardano dropped over 50%. See that? From 3.1 all the way to a low of about like 180. So just keep that in mind about Shiba too. But here's the thing. You see Cardano retrace, and it has been in consolidation since like the beginning of September until now. That is a 2 month worth of consolidations. And if you look at the chart, the reason that Cardano is pretty much not moving, why? I mean, here's another thing. If you look at the chart, anytime when you see this 10-day moving average here is still trailing the 50 days, nothing is going to move. You're going to see a lot of it like this. It may spike up, but it's going to get pushed down again. But now, if you look at like this 10-day moving average now, it is starting to get very near the 50 days. And the 50 days is like reversing direction right now. It is trending downward. So I would say within the next like week or the most is 2 weeks, you're going to see that crossover. And when this crossover happens, the expectation is once the price trade over the 50 days moving average, just stabilize over that for a day or two, you're going to see this big pop up. Because if you look at the Bollinger Band now, let me clear this out. And if you guys follow me and watch the video I did about Cardano before, remember the minute Cardano ran up to about 280, I said the Bollinger Band get overstretched right now. And when the Bollinger Band get overstretched, that is an early indications that the price is about to top out. And that's what happened. And when it top out, you're going to have this sort of big retracement. The nice things about the retracement is that allow the Bollinger Band to contract or reform itself. Because think of it this way here, the Bollinger Band is like a balloon. I mean, you squeeze both ends So that what happened is you compress a lot of pressure, and that's what happening right now. You see the width of the band. That's why when you watch my video, I mean, you hear what I say a lot about is like the width of the band. The tighter it get, the more momentum is building up. I mean, just the same thing. Like think of this one here: you squeeze both ends of the balloon, and the more you squeeze it up until the one point, it's going to break out. It's going to bust out, and that is going to happen. So right now, I am not chasing after the one that are spiking up right now. I mean, I don't go after Harmony One. I don't buy Harmony One right now. I don't even buy V Change right now because I don't chase after it. But I buy this guy here to wait for the next run up, because the next time when this guy run up, he's going to cross over this 3.1. I mean, this is a great project. There's no doubt about it. And the nice things about Cardano is if you buy Cardano off the Voyager exchange, you get like 5% interest for doing nothing. But this guy is one of my favorite right now. And the second one, weird, but it's BitTorrent. I have a strange feeling that BitTorrent is going to move big time. Why? Because all this unusual volume. Look at the volume. I mean, looking at let's look at the 4-hour chart. Look at this. Prior to this week, there was like almost no activity at all. And then we see BitTorrent pretty much trading sideways. Every time when this goes up, it got pushed down. But the volume is increasing. To me, this is an indication that big money is accumulating. They are buying the minute the price goes up, they push it down again. So they continue to collect. And if you look at the chart for BitTorrent, I mean the setup is almost like Cardano. You see the Bollinger Band gets so tight. The stochastic oscillator is starting. I mean it's still in this like oversold, but it's starting to kind of like showing this upward momentum. And finally today, BitTorrent now is like trading over both the 10 days, which is the red line, and the white line, which is the 50 days. And if you look at the red line, which is the 10-day, is about to cross over the white line. This is, a very bullish sign once the 10-day cross over the 50-day, because BitTorrent, after the 10-day drop below the 50-day, that's when we see this like sort of significant drop in price after that. And if you look at like the past, around like July, the end of July, when the 10-day crossed over the 50-day, you see the price, it started this like vertical. And even back then, there wasn't that much like volume. But now look at the volume, huge volume. And then when we look at like the weekly, now you see how much volume is, even compared to back around like the beginning of the year when we have this major spike up in price. The volume is even not even that much compared to what it is right now. And then I was looking at like BitTorrent. Then I kind of like remind one of the crypto that I did a video on, and I was like, I nailed that thing. Why? Because of the unusual volume that I saw. I don't know if you guys watched the video I did a while ago about like Wink. I mean, the title of the video is like Wing has wings. Why? Because when I was looking at the chart for Wing, all of a sudden I see this sort of like unusual build up in value while the price was actually retracing. And then all of a sudden, I starting to see this 10-day crossover there. I mean, this again, this is big money accumulating. And after that, I remember one day Wings, spiked up by about 50 or 60%. So it spiked up from about 0.0035 all the way to 6.4 in a matter of like a couple of days. So this is an example of volume, and that is what I'm seeing with BitTorrent. So my favorite, is Cardano, BitTorrent, just for this week as well as like going into November. And then obviously you guys know by now, Coty is another one that I think is setting up to run big time. This is, the setup is just like crazy right now. It just started. It's starting to, to trade over the 10-day. It may trade sideways for another few days, but I do expect this thing to pop. This is another great project. So, like I said, for me, my number one rule is I don't chase after anything that is in a bull run right now. Just like, I don't know, Doge, this is a weird thing. I don't know. Volume is not there, but so far it is still able to stay within the zone of this potential spike up. Because when you look at this, it's still very much trending upward. We had this major bull signal here. The 10 days cross over the 50 days. It's just the problem is the past couple of days, we've seen like V-Chain, like Harmony, like Shiba spike up so much. And those hasn't done that. But to be honest, it's not that bad. Look at like what those is today versus those like about a week ago. It's a big difference now. We are disappointed because we expect to see those at 32 cents right now, and it's not doing that. Just gotta give it some time to do what it needs to do. That is the thing with Doge. Harmony is running up so much, and I think Harmony still has more room to run. My target is at 40 cents, and I do believe at 40 cents we're gonna see another retracement. The same thing like what we've seen here. Remember, like when it ran up, retested the prior high, the all-time high at 23 cents, then we see this big retracement. If you look at this retracement here, I bet it's probably at least 50%. All right, so it dropped to that. And let's see here. It's actually at 61.8%. So Harmony retraced even more than 50%. Harmony retraced all the way down to 11 cents. That is 61.8%. And then it took Harmony from like September all the way until about right at this point here, which is like the middle of October. Consolidate, build out this handle of the cup, and now it is basically spiking up. But then the minute when Harmony reached the target price at at 40 cents, I do expect at least another 50% retracement. So once it hit that, I expect Harmony to retrace down to about a 22 cent. Yeah, likely that it will drop down and retest this prior high, which is right at the top of the cup. And after that, we would see, I mean, if Bitcoin continue to stabilize and trend up, you're going to see the same thing like this again. Then it would run to my target of what is like 75 cents or something like that. But you're not going to see it go straight like this. So if you catch it at the top, then you can buy more once it's retraced. Dark Polaris, well, Solana and ADA are pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you're not feeling comfortable with those, get rid of it. Get something else. I mean, we're not married to anything. And what else? Let's see here. Yeah, VChange is doing well. I mean, I'm so happy because I mean, you guys know me by now. This is one of my favorite cryptos, and I do own a lot of VChange, and I was able to get a lot of them around like the 6, 7, 8 cents. So I am very happy. OMG is another really good project. I have to do a video on this one. And again, OMG already ran up a lot. It ran up from about like $3 all the way to about like 19 cents. No, $19. So I do expect more retracement for OMG. I don't think that OMG can run up yet. I mean, let's just look at the Bollinger Band. I bet the band is still. Oh, actually, it's forming out really nice, but I still think that it hasn't dropped enough yet. So far, it dropped by about 38.2%. The minute, I mean, and I believe that it would trade sideways for a while, and we might even see it drop down to about 50% retracement. That would be right around like the $11 before it bounce up. And the next time when it bounce up, I mean, look at this cup and handle that it's building right now. This thing would probably run up to at least about $30 as part of this breakout, but not until it retraces and build out this handle. Matic, yes, Matic is on fire as well. And now with Bitcoin is running out, all these guys are like definitely on fire. They all run up. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean just like a very quick look here. I mean you see this is like a little bull flag, and then right now it's running up as part of like the breakout because it broke out right now. Let's see here. It could, I mean, it's just a rough target here. It could run up to about $3. That is assuming if Bitcoin doesn't crash, but it's not going to go up vertically. I mean, you're going to see it like zigzag, trade sideways like that. But the near-term target could right at about $3 there. Brother Brian, most of the attention is on Shiba. That could be the case as well. And I bet, I mean, Momi Reeds asked a very good question. And I mean, should we sell those to buy Shiba? And I bet many people probably already done that. I mean, that could be another reason why we see Shiba is spiking up so much. But like I said before, nothing goes up forever. And that, I mean, it's not like I don't like Shiba. I like Shiba, but once it hit the top, you're going to see that big retracement. While Doge hasn't moved anything yet. I mean, it hasn't moved, so it still has more room to make up. Another thing, I think the problem is, I mean, I touched on this early today. The market cap for those is still around over 30 billion. And that could be another problem as well. And I can tell you this here. Right now, Shiba, let's look at Shiba market cap. About like 15 billion, something like that. Oh, Shiba is 16 billion right now. And it's half of those. The minute Shiba get up to like where those is, it's going to be really tough to move. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Talk about Solana, man. I still remember. When Solana was like people are so funny sometimes. When Solana was running up, I said that my target price to buy Solana is around 150. I got a lot of like bad comments about I could never get it. And then the minute it retraced, then there's a lot of comment about like Solana is dead. It ran up so much. It's going down to like $5 or whatever. I said, no, this is a great project. It's going to run up again. I still remember like I got a comment. One guy bought Solana at 160, and the next day it as part of it dropped down to about like 140 some. He wrote a comment about like F you make me lose money. But now look, I mean Solana is like over 200. So that guy owes me an apology. One other thing is Bitcoin. All right. I mean, I've been right with Bitcoin most of the time, but lately Bitcoin proved me wrong a couple times already. When Bitcoin ran up to about like the 58,000. Yes, I still remember that. I did a video and I posted on my the other channel, Optionzilla, when Bitcoin ran up and it was testing the resistance of this upward channel. At the same time, it was also testing this prior high. I mean, I was like expecting to see Bitcoin retrace at least to about the 50 some thousand level before it bounces up. But man, this thing is just like up vertically. That is what's really scared me about Bitcoin because it's been running up so much, and I mean, I still don't like the volume. The volume is just so low, and when you have low volume, I mean, we're kind of like susceptible to this major flash crash because it doesn't take that much for short seller to drive the price down. But when you look at this chart, obviously, I mean, look very, very bullish. But at the same time, this is what really scared me. I mean, look at this here. It's like a straight up, almost like a setup before they drop it down to collect a lot of money before they let it up again. So just be careful on this thing. Yeah, AVAX is another one that. All right, AVAX. Yeah. See, I did a video on AVAX here. I mean, when you look at this, It was forming this like head and shoulder, broke off the neckline, and it dropped. I believe like my target was for it to drop to 50.6. I have to go back to that video. I mean, that video on the channel, and if you can see this right after that, it retraced. And if you look at this low, it dropped down to right here, 51.04. All right. So it's pretty much kind of like complete this head and shoulder pattern. After that, we see this like reversal in price here. Now it's running up. Yeah, I mean, all of these major blockchain projects like AVAX, Solana, Polkadot are doing really well. And that's why I think Cardano is due for this major spike up. I mean, especially if you look at the price over the last couple of weeks, you see the size of look at the size of this like candle, very short, meaning that I mean it's really in consolidation. There's not a lot of movement right now. Supply and demand, seller and buyer are like the same equal. So the minute this thing pop, it's gonna go up. Same thing like remember what happened when Cardano was trading very much like you see the size of this candle here, short candle before it broke out. So I've been watching this guy. The minute I see this 10 days cross over the 50-day, then I'm gonna sell my house, sell my wife, sell my dog, put all of that into Cardano. I'm just kidding now. My wife's just gonna kill me. So Cardano is due for a major run up. Well, when you look at Bitcoin right now, I mean, and we just base on the, okay, let me clear all this stuff out so that we can clear all this drawing. So normally people look at when there is a crash or a retracement. Remember this here, Bitcoin top, I mean, all-time peak was around like 64 plus. It spiked up over that. Then it retraced, looked like it is going to retest again. Here is the thing. If it retests and able to cross over, then we will likely see it continue this uptrend. But a rejection at this point, then watch out. We could see this reversal. Right now, it looked bullish because again, I mean, you look at the 10-day and the 50-day here. The 10 days over the 50 days, and it's kind of like shooting straight up. And obviously, because that's what Bitcoin has been doing. But anyway, if you look at this retracement here, and let's say assume that Bitcoin is super strong, so a retracement, and if it's really strong, then we can look at about like the 38.2%. So you're looking at about 53,000. That's what I expect the next time when this thing retraces. You're gonna see, I mean, if it gets rejected at this all-time high, I mean the prior all-time high, that's what I mean, then there is a possibility we may see it dip to about 38.2, or could even, I mean, go lower than that. I mean, anything is possible because when you look at the retracement, that number is very normal, and let me prove that to you here. Even when Bitcoin was like, this is very much like during the May time frame. I mean, the Bitcoin was in this bull run. When you look at like the first time it, let's start at right at this point here. It ran up to this point, clear this out. All right. So from the starting point, which is around here, to the top, then it retraced. You see exactly 50%. It dropped from 41.6 down to about 29.8. 50% retracement. And then run up again. So from this point at this low here to this high, you see this big retrace here. So now if you look at this, again, guess what? Exactly 50% retracement. See, I am not making this up, right? From this point here, run up to this, retrace to that. Right here is at 50%. See that? The same thing as from here to here, down here, that's another 50%. Now let's do it one more test. So now at this low here, it bounced up to this point. So from this point to this point, we are looking at, oh man, let me clear this guy here because it's so hard to see. Now this retracement is a little bit stiffer. It's around 61.8%. But then right at this point, we see it's kind of like level off. And the next thing you see is you see this like big drop here. So it could drop by 50%. And if you look at like what it is right now, at 50%, you're looking at sub 50,000. That's like 48,600. A lot of people may say, it will never happen because everybody is saying that Bitcoin would go to 100. I mean, I haven't seen guys that are predicting that like Bitcoin would go up to 200,000 right now. Personally, I am a lot more conservative. I don't think that's going to happen because nothing goes up like this forever. I mean, look, we've seen this drop right here. I mean, even prior to this run up, let's look at this here. All right, we have this here, straight up, and then retrace. I bet if we look at this retracement, probably 50%. Exactly 50% right here. That is 50% right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me just remove this line. 50%, see that? And history does repeat itself. You're going to see 50% retracement from this high here. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, it could or it could not. You're right, Tracy. I mean, all I can say is like being like a guy that look at the chart. I mean, I tend to base on what happened in the past, and the past tend to tell us what the future is going to be. But at the same time, I mean, hey, the momentum could easily push it up again. We may see at 70, 80 before we see that dip. But whenever whenever it finds the top, it will dip and you will look at, I mean, 38 or 50% retracement. Hey, Gary. So that's why, I mean, we've been through that long bear market. Now everything is looking great. And one of the things I am an advocate of is take some profit. Take, I don't know. I mean, hey, if we invest it for the long run, take 5%, take 10%. At least, I mean, we feel like, hey, we are making money. The last thing we want to see is, let's say, an example, let's go to Shiba. I mean, I know people are sitting with like at least 300, 400% gain with Shiba here. And Shiba could run up higher. Or if history were to repeat itself, we could, I mean, see Shiba like that before it go up. So we definitely don't want to get to this point. See all of our gain kind of like evaporate. So just take a little bit profit if you don't want to sell it. That's what I do. Normally, I use the 50-50 strategy, and because I'm lucky enough that the markets run up so much right now, most of the tokens that I own, I was able to leverage this, and now I'm just waiting for the market to retrace and then get back all in again. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen because, I mean, this is how it is, like this, and then it go up. What can I say about Ethereum? I mean, I did a video on Ethereum not long ago, a few days ago, and Ethereum has pretty much been follow how I had projected, which is like I think the first video I did was like right at this point here, around like the end of August, like early September, when Ethereum was like at 3,000. And at this point, when looking at this chart here, Ethereum was building up this huge bull flag. And I projected that as a part of this breakout, Ethereum would run up to about 48,000. And so far, I think it will hit 48,000. And like anything else, I mean, after it hit 48,000, I do expect to see it retrace. The same thing is like here, after it hit 4,000, then we see this retracement here. And again, Ethereum, he retraced a little over 50%. So after Ethereum hit 4,800, I do expect to see Ethereum back down to about, could be, I mean, at like the 3,600 or even 3,200 level. I mean, that is about 50%. Oh, sorry. That like 38%, assuming Ethereum is very strong. 38%. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have used the retracement from this point here for, yeah, this is a new run up here. All right. So I would expect to see Ethereum retrace down to about this range here, which is around a 4,000 to 3,700 before it bounce up again and then run up again. Oh, Chris, good night. Thank you for joining us. BitTorrent is making a move right now, so it's trending up right now. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night very soon. But let me just repeat this here. BitTorrent is another one of my favorite again because of this really unusual value. I I think that we will see BitTorrent spike up big time soon. It may take some more day to go through this, but the volume is definitely unusual. I have never seen all of a sudden, there's a lot of accumulation right now. Look at all this buy volume here compared to before. Nothing. So this is very, very unusual, guys. So, I mean, this is Cardano and BitTorrent are two of my biggest buying right now. See? You see how much weird. This is really weird. And on top of that, I mean, I look at the chart. The setup is just like ideal. Ideal setup for a major pop. And BitTorrent is due. So just hope that I'm going to be right on this one. And then Cardano, because Cardano has been ignored during this bull run. It is taking its time to build this up. The minute the 10 days cross over the 50-day, this guy is going to pop. Kaya's 444. Well, what I'm saying is like Bitcoin has been running up so much. And I could be wrong on this as well. I mean, right now, it is about to retest the prior all-time high at 40,000. What is it, like 40 something? 40, almost 45,000. A rejection at this point, then I see this thing could potentially drop down by anywhere from about 36 to 50% retracement. I mean, we could look at anywhere from about like the 50,000 to 46,000. That's how I see it. And again, I hope that I'm wrong because I don't want to see Bitcoin drop. But I mean, if you look at the chart, look at history. That's what it is. First time when it's spike up like this, you see this retracement. And I showed you guys before. I mean, that is exact 50% retracement down to here before it stabilize, bounce up again. And then there's a chance you may see something like this before the next run up. Because it never goes up like this. Just remember that. I mean, if those can just hang around like at least 26 cents for even another week, I am okay with that. As long as it continue to trade over this 10 days and continue to build this out. But the thing that bothered me is like the chart now is telling me that those is ready to pop. I mean, look at the Bollinger Band. It's expanding right now. I mean, those is trading over the 10 days, the 50-day. It's just like there's no volume. It's just like, oh, the money is probably being put on Shiba right now. So we need Shiba to sleep for a while for those to wake up. But as long as it's trade like this, I am okay. Because, I mean, when it's stabilized like that, then there's a very good chance that it will pop. So, but then, look, I mean, almost every crypto right now are doing well. So everybody should be happy. And the graph, I mean, I make a really good call on the graph as well. I mean, when it was trading at around like 72 cents, that when I did a video, I said, hey man, keep your eyes on the graph. I remember like, let's see here. Let's go to my channel again because not long ago, the graph like a week ago, I think, when I did a video on the graph. Yeah, right here, the graph here. Get ready. 1 week ago. That's right. I mean, that's when I look at the chart. Yeah, about weeks ago. That's right. Right at this point here. Yeah, and after that, we have this big pop here. And today, I make a call on this here. Coty. I think this guy is ready to pop. Hopefully, I'm right because the setup is definitely there. So, Coty. I mean, today, my picks are Coty, BitTorrent. Well, BitTorrent is making some progress already. It's already up another almost 2%. I mean, looking really good. And Cardano. So these are my three that I'm buying. I mean, I don't buy anything else right now because everything else is kind of like overvalued. Another one that I'm just waiting is Seller. I think Seller is getting closer to breaking out right now. I mean, it's been consolidating for, I mean, like over a month. And this thing will probably pop to at least 30 cents next time. So this is another one of my favorite. DGB, I don't have any of that. But let me see here. Look at this thing for like 4 hours so we can see if we can spot any sort of like pattern or trend or all right, it seems like there's a major resistance right there. Carrie, I'll probably look at this for, I mean, later on and maybe in another live streaming session, I'll go over this because it's really hard for me to look at this on the fly. I'm not familiar with it. I am not familiar with this one. So, oh, I mean, I think those will run up. There's no doubt about it. It's just like a lot slower than Shiba right now. So also like ICP is making some move right now. I mean, this is another like coins that is has been ignored. So it is making up right now. I mean, spiking up. But right at about like 57, I mean, that's going to be a major resistance rate at this point. At 57 here. So if it can cross over that, then we can see more. But that's going to be tough. But anyway, I think I'm going to call this the night. It's been a long time since I do live streaming, so I'm glad that I have a chance to talk to everybody and have a great night. God bless. Make sure you make some money. Like I said before, don't be shy to take some profit. Don't be shy about that. Take a little bit, even 5%, 10%. and use that when the price retraces, buy in more. But anyway, those is actually making a little move right now. It's up a little bit. Never know. By the time we wake up tomorrow, those could be trading at 29 cents. And I would look like a genius with the video that I uploaded early today. Never know. Something like that may happen, right? BitTorrent. Hopefully by tomorrow when we wake up, BitTorrent may be up by 8-9%. We don't know. But anyway, good night, everybody. Thank you very much.